Now, regular punters of GBNews will know that I speak a lot on this show about how we don't hand down long enough sentences for people who abuse and kill children. And for new visitors, hello, I'm Mercy, and I bang on a lot about child killers. Because for me, it is the single most pressing criminal justice moral question of our day, at least here in the United Kingdom. Why are people in this country allowed to traffic, torture, sexually abuse and even murder children, knowing full well that in all likelihood they will be let out of jail eventually? Somebody please make it make sense. You might recall recent cases such as Arthur Hughes and Star Hobson, if you're from the UK. Star was brutally murdered after months of neglect and cruelty at 16 months old. Her mother's female partner was jailed for a minimum of 25 years for her murder. Her mum was jailed for 12 years for causing or allowing her death. You might also remember the absolutely harrowing case of little Arthur Hughes, tortured, poisoned, starved. His father was given 21 years, and his father's partner was convicted of murder and given 29 years. Now, you might think, well, look, 20 years is a long time. It's a long time to be in jail, but really, is 20 years a lot? Let's go back 20 years, shall we? This time, 20 years ago, 9/11 had already happened. Brazil's Ronaldo's 2 goals saw Brazil win their 5th World Cup. The Queen's mother sadly passed away. We saw double child killer Ian Huntley charged with the murders of schoolgirls Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman in 2002, of course. But there was some good news that year as well. The Queen had her Golden Jubilee, and Girls Aloud's debut single, Sound of the Underground, was Christmas #1 that year, 2002. So I remember all of that. I remember all of those events. 20 years is not a long time. I'm a mere adolescent, and even I still remember 20 years ago. But do you remember this name, Tony Hudgell? Now, Tony is a gorgeous little boy, now the same age actually as my daughter, and he lost both of his legs after being abused by his parents when he was 4 months old. His parents were each sentenced to get this 10 years in prison in 2018 for leaving him with injuries the doctors did not even expect him to survive. Now, 10 years was the maximum at the time, which is bonkers, but that's the maximum that could be awarded for what they were sentenced for. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to report this morning that there is good news today on the child abusers front. And I can't believe I'm saying this, quite honestly, but from this week, child abusers will be facing tougher penalties, tougher jail sentences. The new legislation has been dubbed Tony's Law, named after the now 7-year-old, and it comes after tireless campaigning by Tony's adopted family. Now, under the changes brought in by Justice Secretary Dominic Raab, anyone who causes or allows the death of a child or vulnerable adult in their care will now face up to life imprisonment, which is a big increase from the current 14-year maximum sentence that is available. Now, that's absolutely fantastic in my view, but there is still a long way to go because, for instance, the offence of causing or allowing serious physical harm to a child and cruelty to a person under 16 now has a maximum of 14 years. That's gone up from 10 years, but it's still too low, in my opinion, 14 years for that crime. But my goodness, I will take any win where I can when it comes to this issue. They really don't come around often, wins in this area. So I'd like to say a big thank you to Tony's adoptive family for their love and commitment, and a rare thank you, actually, to the government for putting a bit more justice into the justice system.